You're okay.
All right, let's try this again. Hopefully I won't get attacked this time. You gonna be on your best behavior, Molly? We're hope dealing. So hey, what's going down? You're on the recovery pod, baby.
Episode 69.
What do you want to talk about for episode 69?
Sex.
You want to talk about sex?
Sex. Sweaty sex.
I do want to talk about sex. How sex can be a distraction when you're getting sober to get endorphins, validations, approvals. And I know you have a lot to say about the subject. And we've already talked about dating in early recovery, so check that out, episode 14. Yeah, I remember. Highly referenced. Do you want to start, or should I get to rambling?
You can get to rambling.
I don't know. I just feel like it's something that is real easy to do. You know what I mean? We get clean, and it's like, I want to feel something. I feel, I probably feel some type of way about myself. The rush alone of, not even just sex, but like the chasing, the finding, the accomplishing, whether it's sex or just someone liking you and giving you a little sweet eye. Just so many things that go into it that really can activate our addict behavior. You know what I mean? Early on or later on, anytime, you get to the point where you're like, well, at least I'm not using, you know what I mean? Just use my dick. But, yeah, sex can be, something that not a lot of people like to talk about. Especially guys, you know what I mean? There can be weird changes with your sexual performances when you first get sober. We were even talking in one group about the relationship with sex and drugs, that people use drugs to enhance sex or to numb their fears about sex or to make sex more enjoyable. And it can become this relationship that's kind of twisted, you know what I mean? You get sober and you have to relearn proper ways to have sex. But before I go rambling on too many different areas, let's just get it in.
Get it on.
Let's get it on. Let's get it on.
All right. So, the way sex was for me is it kind of like in the beginning it hurt really bad. I mean, not really bad, but I didn't feel good from sex. I'd never orgasmed. But I went after it like crazy. And it's like, I couldn't figure out why. And now I finally figured it out. And it's because I initially was a love addict, validation addict, and attention addict. And when I'm having sex with someone, I get their full validation. You know what I mean? Like in a weird way. And their full attention.
Okay.
So that overrid everything for me. And then when I started using, it was even better because my favorite thing was to have sex on opiates because they would take the pain away completely. And it was just painless And then it got to a point where I didn't want to do it unless I was on opiates. So, because then I'm like, well, damn, I can't believe it hurt that bad, So, and then, Going out of rehab, it was like back to that, and not enjoyable still, and just it wasn't until I had to when I was like single for a while, I had to really figure it out because it's not normal. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not okay. And so just before I met you, I was like seriously like busting my ass and
Busting something else too, from the sounds of it.
trying to learn my body, and it finally started to feel like it was supposed to. And I me being able to like get myself off, it's like I was like, damn dude, I am amazing. I am a queen, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, yeah.
Damn, I did not know we were going down the personal experience route. I gotta give myself credit here for sitting through that unfazed. I'm like, I used to have sex with all these guys and blah blah blah.
I didn't say all these guys.
That's what my brain heard. Okay, I'm a
sorry.
guy.
I'm proud
But
of you.
no,
for
no,
getting
no,
through
for
that.
no, yeah, thank you. No, yeah, opiate sex is like that's where I was for a long time, because I mean I took methadone from like, I don't know, 18 to like late 20s. So it's like not having sex or having sex off drugs was like, I mean, shit, my energy's not there. I feel every nerve and every part of my body, and it's not really as performance friendly to not be on them. But yeah, getting clean is just, it's there's just so much that goes on there. Like you kind of have to like, that's like the ultimate vulnerability. You know what I mean? It's hard enough to be vulnerable in like meetings or with feelings or people you're even like really close with and trust. It's another thing to like, I don't know, like kind of get to that place where you are open and vulnerable with somebody new. You know what I mean? And yeah, I never really looked at it as, me personally, as like a validation thing or an approval thing. Um, but I do recall a time in my using days where a lot of my self worth and value went into performance.
Hmm.
So it's like if I had an off day or like I was never present ever. I was always in my head that it has to be this or it has to be that or it has to last this long or it has to, thank God I never got to the point where I'm like, was it good for you? You know what I mean? But I probably did a time or two, but that's what I was thinking, and like, yeah, it's just, if you can get present, it's hard to do though, because like I said earlier, it's like, it's everything so new. You know what I mean? And I will say too that like, it didn't really feel good to me anymore to like just fuck around. I
Mm-hmm.
noticed that. When I did get clean, I was with someone, so I didn't have to experience that for a few years. But then, between her and my new boo, I was a little fucking around. You know what I mean? Not a lot at all, but that's because it didn't feel right. You know what I mean? It would be like, oh, I'm lonely, horny. Oh, we're like flirting. This could go down. It's like, I don't want a relationship here, but we're flirting. Like maybe it can go down. And in the heat of a moment, it was like that addict feel, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, let's just do it. Like, fuck the consequences, don't think it through. But then if there was enough time to think and process, it didn't feel right. And there was a time or two where I would act in that moment, and then after the fact kind of get that like remorseful using feeling where it was like, damn, why did I do that? You know what I mean? So I think what being clean did for me too was made me a whole lot more aware of these feelings, you know what I mean, of my intent behind, why do I want to do this with this person? Is it because I like this person? Is it because I want to share time with this person or that experience? Is it because I'm horny? Is it because I need approval? So like once I became aware of all these multi-layered things, um it just didn't feel right to do it for those reasons. You know what I mean? And I don't know, I think after like the one or two times of like acting on it and feeling how it felt after, I was really aware of not going that way in the heat of the moment the next time. But not everybody thinks that way. You know, some people get clean and they just run around, make impulsive addict behavior choices, you know, get themselves into situations that either last 18 years or 5 penicillin shots.
Question.
Yes.
If you weren't to be with someone when you got out of, when you got clean, would you be like that?
That's like asking me if I would have turned left instead of right 10 years ago, would I have ended up where I ended up? I don't know what I would have done, to be honest. Like, there's no way to tell. The multiverse could have gone a bunch of different ways, but this was the way it was meant to be.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things that you want to. I mean, it's just like food, you know, when you get out, when you get clean, you need something to replace that feeling if you're not working on yourself.
And with how many of us are that early?
Right.
You know?
So we just need to get by. We just need to do though just for today. We just need to, and I don't know, I guess surprisingly enough for me, I didn't really I don't know. I think I was just too busy trying to be good enough for myself by doing all the things I was doing. I didn't really have time for that when I first got out of rehab. But yeah, and also shit, what was my next thing? Yeah, and like you were saying, the whole sleeping around thing, I I really just did not give a shit like at all. And nowadays it's like it is a privilege for you to like touch me, see me naked. Like I just
Privilege for me or privilege for you?
for you.
Oh, okay.
For anybody. So, and I have to really like be into the person. I have to really just know this is like it just can't be like a one-time thing anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, I also am more aware of my attachment feelings and also aware of other people's feelings. If I'm not that into them and they'll get a touch, I don't want to do that to them.
Right.
And also, just a whole set of things, but mostly just I almost feel if I did that to myself again, or if I did that again, like I would betray myself.
Mm-hmm.
I would not be good to myself by doing that. And it's just something like, yeah, logically it made sense before. But now I'm coming to a point in my life where at first, where that logic knowledge is becoming something I've proven to myself. Like, it has been proven to me. And I really feel it now. And I really understand it now,
Yeah. I kind of agree with you with the whole, like, I don't want to do it to them type thing. I have two ways I look at it. You know, like one, if I'm like going about it with ulterior motives, which I've never been the type to like tell you I like you when I don't, say what I need to do to get in your pants. Never. You know what I mean? I think that shit's weak. It's lying and manipulative, and I don't like the way I feel when I lie and manipulate. You know what I mean? So that's one. But even if it's like, damn, you tired already?
No.
You tired of my
I'm just
tired ass love
breathing.
story?
I'm just breathing.
But I also need to like let them have a choice, because there was times where it was like, maybe to me it's like, oh, this is casual, or this is introductory, like let's see how this goes, no promises type thing. But then I'd feel bad because I'm like, well, I don't want them to catch feelings thinking I'm so fucking special, right? That they're not going to be able to handle me just not choosing them later. So I do have to give people a fair amount of chance and enough credit to feel like they could get through their own thing. But it was even like that with dating. Like even, even deciding to date you, you know what I mean? It was kind of like I almost had it in my mind that I had to be super certain, that there was no room for experimenting or trying. And that's my own thing. That's my own kind of overthinking, you know what I mean? That just got me to a point where it was like, I don't want to try if I feel like it could go left and things might not work out because I don't like the confrontation or being the bad guy, I guess. But that's in the dating stuff. Back to the sex. Sex. I can even feel like some type of way. I've noticed this about myself. It's so weird too how like cosmically correct it is. Where like if I want to have sex because of those same intentions, like I'm horny, I just want to whatever. Like it's one thing to like if I go about it in a self-serving way, right? It does not hit. It doesn't feel right. You know what I mean? It just feels different. If I maybe go along with it when I don't really want to, which doesn't happen often, but let's just say it did. There may have been a time or two or too tired or distracted or whatever. Or if I go about it with my own validation for performance or likeness, it just doesn't hit. It doesn't feel right. It's just weird. It's like, okay, you got what you wanted. You happy? Like, no, I'm not. But when it just happens organically, naturally, with a flow, with a, spiritual like vibe, just prime. You know what I mean?
Scaring my cat.
Good. It's revenge, Molly. So, man, I want to point out too, y'all, whoever, like the fake y'all right there. It's cool that we could talk about stuff like this and not get jealous and not get all like
You didn't get jealous?
butthurt. No, when you started going on in the beginning, I kind of started to get to a point where I'm like, could you fucking wrap it up? Like, I mean, wrap it up. You know what I mean? We could call it wrap it up. But no, I don't, because you have a past. You have experiences. I don't want to take nothing from you. I have a past. I have experiences. Like, it just is what it is. Like, I don't get to this status where you give me the credit you just gave me without a little trial and error and a whole lot of error. Hey, where you going?
It's like, I don't want to hear you talk about your trial and error.
So, are we ready to segue?
Yeah.
Into impermanence. Death of life, death of feelings, death of emotions, death of fun times, death of sorrows.
Can I start off on that one?
I would love it if you did.
Okay. So I was just talking about my therapist about this yesterday.
Your hot therapist?
She's not hot. She's beautiful. There's no calling her hot or sexy or,
Okay, I'm sorry.
Fucking beautiful.
Okay,
and
proceed.
Gentle.
Okay.
Pisces energy.
Oh, God. Here we go.
All right. Oh, I forgot to ask her for a birth date. I had this thought, and it felt like the last year of my life, it was almost as if somebody like hit the fast forward tape, the fast forward button on the tape, and it's like just been zooming by, just fucking zooming, and faster and faster, and every month it's like it's faster and faster, and seconds don't feel like seconds anymore. Minutes don't feel like minutes. It's like the hours turn into minutes, the minutes turn into seconds, like crazy fast. And it just almost made me like, it made me feel like I'm just like on this, like I'm writing on something really fast and it's scaring me.
Hmm.
I'm moving really fast right now and everything is zooming by. And then I'm like, but wait, I have to just enjoy the ride, enjoy the speed. And literally, I'm seeing constant like impermanence, like all the time in front of me with the days, with the holidays, like it's and it's like it's another gateway to presence for me. That's what it's become because constantly seeing things change all around me so quickly, it's literally just another gateway for me. Like what was the other gateway I was talking about? Oh, about how applying concepts for anxiety that I do for using.
Mm-hmm.
That put me in like a present state that it's like this shit is pointless, right? These thoughts are pointless. And but just literally not it's not like a gateway to presence, but it's like a gateway to being an observer.
Okay.
Because an observer is watching, right?
Yeah.
And I'm watching this tape play through. So if I stop being the person that's running circles on this tape and just fucking my having my head spin, it's like I'm stepping out and I'm just watching it happen. So that made me feel a lot better. So yeah, I think that's all I had on that. I hope I made sense.
You did. No,
Okay, good.
yeah, for sure. Um, no, so like impermanence is like huge for me because like in refuge recovery, it's just something that was new to me. You know what I mean? Just meditating on the impermanence of life or just reading about impermanence and understanding it and really just accepting it like that life is impermanent. You know what I mean? We're all going to die one day. You know what I mean? And then that's what I kind of thought it was, like impermanence of life, and then kind of like getting to that place of acceptance where we accept we're going to die. It that has a benefit to help you appreciate your life. Because like when someone passes close to us, what do? We pull everyone else who's still here in tighter. You know what I mean? It's like I call my mom an extra time. You know what I mean? I go see that friend. We all get together and kind of squash what we can squash. But then it goes into further things like, cravings are impermanent, so that when bad vibes come, shitty days, I have a grasp of life impermanence. Why can't I have a grasp of attitude impermanence? You know what I mean? Or craving impermanence. And then just as much with that, it's like the good times, because we can get lost in these good times and want and crave for them not to end. You get lost in that honeymoon phase of a relationship. You get lost in that sex god mode, you know what I mean? But it's gonna end, and the honeymoon phase is gonna end, or it's gonna rise and fall, you know what I mean? Friendships, they come and go. They build. Sometimes they last, sometimes they fizzle, sometimes you just find out they weren't really it to begin with. Um, so I feel like just for an addict, to understand impermanence is huge because those bad times can feel like forever. And if you stay dwelling on it and you can't accept it and feel it and experience it and, you know, grow that tolerance for it with the core belief that it will pass, you know, then we'll resist all those bad moments. And if we cling to this honeymoon phase and we cling to this good time at the party and we cling to this, it needs to last forever, then we're also resisting letting it go. You know what I mean? And we're craving it and therefore probably so lost in focusing on this going away or that staying forever that we're not experiencing none of the present. So impermanence is key to acceptance, I feel like. in a lot of ways.
Oh yeah. No, I feel like with an addict or anybody who has addict behavior, um, your vision is very narrowed and you only see what's around you. So you're only seeing the current emotion, the current thing that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it feels like it's the only thing, therefore if it's the only thing, it's forever. But when you're able to step out and see a bigger picture, you can see that yes, this is happening right now, but it'll pass. Therefore, with good things, yes, this is happening right now, but it'll pass. I was actually pretty good about that until Christmas. When Christmas happened, for the first time, I got so lost in the good feelings of it because I never like had them before.
Mm-hmm.
That when it ended, it was like, I felt just coming down of drugs. um,
No, just last for one more hour.
so I took a pretty hard hit, but yeah. So the bigger you're able to see, the wider your vision gets, and you don't get hit as hard. The ups and the downs aren't so heavy, I guess.
Right. Can I ask a question? Are there downfalls to acceptance? Well, I'm glad you asked, Tommy.
Why the fuck is it Tommy?
I don't know. So like I will say that with my increasing acceptance, because I'd like to feel I'm pretty accepting. You know what I mean? I felt like I got a pretty good grip on it early on, and a lot of non-attachment to highs and lows. The highs don't hit me as hard as they once did, and the lows don't funk me out like they once did. That comes at the cost of kind of not experiencing the high highs and the low lows. You know what I mean? So like Christmas is coming. It's like cool. You know what I mean? Because like I know it's gonna end. I know it's gonna kind of come. I get some excitement from it, but I definitely don't get like, oh my god, I can't wait for this. I'm so excited. And then when things are over, I'm not like, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like a little bit of a payoff sometimes, but it does kind of suck to not feel those high highs. Now, if they hit me randomly, like just watched a fire battle or, got involved in something on the spot, without time to like accept the coming of it and mourning the going of it, if it just kind of boom, boom, like it's cool, I'll feel a lot more of those like spiked up feelings.
Well, everybody has certain things that they feel that way about, and like you said, yours is just probably not Christmas,
Yeah.
and that's fine. Like, you know, yours are battle raps and
That's all I care about.
fucking NF coming out with a new album.
That's all I care
You
about.
get a high.
Yeah.
You get a very so you just have different ones, and I think it's good that we all have something like that. But it's just still not as severe as, like for example, like back when I would make a mistake, I would kick myself in the ass way harder.
Don't check your work emails
I know,
while we're potting.
I know.
You're on the clock on another business.
Come on, come back. So, certain mistakes that I would make, I used to kick myself in the ass. But then when I would get something right, I used to be like, oh my god.
Oh, I remember.
I'm a fucking genius.
I'm the fucking smartest IT tech in the world.
And
it's like, oh, makes one mistake.
But now it's like, I make a mistake. That's all right. I didn't know.
Yeah.
And then I do something right. Okay, cool.
Very cool.
Yeah. I get constant validation from the state nowadays. It doesn't affect me as much because it's gone. But there are still some things that, like Christmas is a new thing for me.
Right.
So yeah, I'm going to, and then like everybody just has certain things that are always going to be there because we are humans, and I still don't fully feel like I am immortal or mortal.
You don't feel like you're immortal yet?
Or I feel like I am immortal. Like, it's not hitting me that I will die someday. It still hasn't hit me yet.
Oh, wait till it does.
I know.
It's quite a little bit of a reality check. Your soul leaves your body for a minute.
So, I think as humans, we like to think that we are immortal and everything lasts forever. And if we just learn the impermanence, therefore acceptance.
Mm-hmm. Thank God things don't last forever.
Right.
I don't know. I think with the holidays, it's just got me thinking about, like, I'm actually glad that I've developed some type of impermanence, because, like, I used to get holiday blues like a motherfucker. Like, after I moved from Florida and my older two kids were down there, and this is what I'm still using, fucking Christmas sucked. You know what I mean? Birthdays sucked. You know, I think that's why when I got clean, and I don't even think it's a defense mechanism. I think it was just like a solid reframe where I'm like, this is just another day. You know what I mean? Yes, it's my son's birthday. Yes, I'm not with him. But you know what? At the end of the day, it is literally another present moment. You know what I mean? It's the meaning is there. It doesn't have to knock me to the ground. It doesn't matter if it's December 25th. Like, I can spend time with my family, and I had to find like the positives. But before that, like my few years here where I was still using, Christmas sucked, you know, and I am glad that I can now get to a point where, you know, if I happen to not be able to get my youngest daughter on her birthday, you know, or something like that, or if one of my kids isn't up for Father's Day, you know, that it's not the end of my world, you know, and that we can celebrate on a different time, you know, because the date isn't as important. That's just an agreed upon date. Mm-hmm. You know, if I can't celebrate Christmas with my family on the 25th and it has to be the 24th or the 26th instead, so what? You know what I mean? Like, I could lose myself in the details and be so rigid and huffy and puffy that things didn't go my way because that's the way they're supposed to go, that I can ruin the 24th or the 26th. You know what I mean? And now it's like, you know, it's whatever. Like, let's do it. Like, I didn't have any of my kids on Christmas this year, and it was a good day. I got to sit back and watch Netflix all day.
We had a good day.
But the 24th was pretty bomb, you know, and then I got her back on the 26th, and we got to do our thing then too. So it was like, just that acceptance and letting go. And I don't know. I think impermanence helped me a lot, even with like custody, because a lot of addicts are probably out there without their children or sharing their children or whatever. And it can feel like an absolute rise and fall, like a wave between completeness and emptiness when you do or don't have them. You know what I mean? And it's important to, one, see that you are enough with yourself, but two, to know that these feelings and these, you know, vibes can be impermanent and not last forever. What do you think, Molly?
She said, "Mer."
Man.
Yeah, I have nothing else.
You have nothing else? Do you have anything? Do you have anything you'd like to add? I knew it. I knew it. See this shit?
She just feels very intimidated when you do that.